Merry December, bitch mittens. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be talking about Arcane Season 2. And for any of you who do not know what Arcane is the animated show on Netflix based around the famous money-making machine computer game that is League of Legends. Small spoiler for anyone out there who is a League of Legends fan. My only experience of the franchise is the TV show itself. So if anything I say in here is incorrect, I'm only basing it off what I know from the TV show. Obviously, the game itself, if you played it for a long time, you'll be able to correct me. I don't come with malintentions when it comes to, describing this show that I absolutely love so much. Getting back to it, if you have watched Arcane Season 1 and you loved it, highly recommend you go and watch Season 2 right now. It is well worth it. I've also got to point out the fact that I will be going into spoilers here. So if you don't want anything spoiled for you so far, go and watch it. I've made my peace and we're about to dive into it. Arcane, from what I can say, from Season 1 to Season 2, is just absolutely stunning when it comes to its visual effects. It is the best animated show I've ever seen, with everything they do with the composition, from the part 3D to part 2D. The way they blend it in so well, and they've managed to get a lot more emotions there. I mean, there was very emotional heavy in the first one, but they seem to have kept that art style and conveyed so much more emotion as well, particularly with Vi, when you see the struggles that she's going through. It just looks stunning. I can't put it into words, particularly with everything when it goes from whether they're in the real world of Piltover all the way through to the scenes within the Arcane itself. Yeah, that was the Arcane thing, and the whole, I know it was very heavy in the first season. I liked how much it was in the first season, but the whole fantasy element really isn't me, which is why I don't play games like that anyway. But yeah, visually stunning, well acted, well voiced. Again, a whole mix of different characters, different races, different species, genders. This is one that, if it wasn't done right, it would just be another fucking wokey project. But this is what happens when you don't put identity politics at the forefront of whatever it is that you're making, and you actually just write characters for who they are and not trying to send a message. And of course, it's got a fucking lesbian scene in it as well. Not gonna lie, probably the first time cartoons ever give me a boner. But hey, what can you do? Going on from the actual end of Season 1 into Season 2 now, and the actual plot of the story itself within Season 2 is not what I was expecting, but I was not disappointed. I was expecting something different, and I could have possibly done without the whole Beast, plot line. But from what I understand from people who have played the game, the Beast is actually in the game itself. So I could have done without that, and I could have done maybe with a little less of the whole Arcane trippy bullshit, because it really reminded me of Hannibal Season 3. Not watched Hannibal at all, then you need to go and watch it. Hannibal's a great TV show, but in Season 3, my god, it goes full on fucking magic mushroom on you. And that's what Arcane Season 2 does quite a lot as well, particularly if you don't know the story like I don't. So it wasn't what I was expecting, but I was not disappointed. One thing that I was not the biggest fan of, and it's purely because of my love for the first season, was the story between Vi and Jinx. And what I was looking forward to personally myself seeing a bit more of was Jinx going full on Jinx. I was expecting a lot more in terms of to give away a heavy spoiler. Jinx isn't as jinxy as she appears at the end of Season 1, and she doesn't go full ham to the wall. I was expecting it to carry on a lot longer. I was expecting her to go full Joker mode, but they also patch up the relationship between the sisters a little bit too quick for my liking. I could have done with the conflict between those two going on a hell of a lot longer. But, you've got to, that's just what I was wanted and what I expected. It didn't happen like that. I could have done with more Jinx being Jinx. Is what it is, but at the end of the day, they did flesh her out more, and, I wouldn't even say humanised, because they very much humanised her in the first season when you saw the struggle between her. Does she carry on being a young little powder, that innocent girl, because she rekindle her relationship with Vi, or does she go full balls to the wall and become Jinx? And she chose Jinx. So we didn't really get that much, but still The scenes with her, particularly when Echo goes into the alternative dimension, you could have seen what could have been absolutely outstanding. Also, I can't remember the little boy's name, or was it a girl? Don't know, don't care. The one that sacrificed themselves with the ray gun with the 2 little blue balls of energy in it. I thought that was an absolutely great moment. It's filled with absolutely brilliant moments as well. It doesn't quite hit the same, but I think that's because Arcane Season 1 was so groundbreaking. Obviously, it probably wouldn't hit me as hard either because I don't play the game. I don't have that love to it. I just have the absolute love factor of the first season, which is what drew me into the second season. But I will happily rewatch it again. Episodes 1, 2 and 3 I think are the best. They play into it really, really well, and particularly episode 1, it throws all the emotions at you. It starts off with the loss of what happened at the end of season 1, and then the build up back up to the threat that, you know, Piltover in the underworld are not safe, and there's always going to be this conflict. So yeah, and also those weird little fucking iRobot things in the last few episodes. Wasn't a big fan of them, but that's just my personal preference. But anyway, if you're a fan of Arcane, highly recommend you go and watch it. And thanks for listening to me just rumble my way through this. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a cheeky like. And yeah, go and see Arcane now. From what I understand, they're doing more spin-offs from within the game. I'll happily watch those too if they can meet the standards of these first 2 seasons. Much love.